In an historic address to the City of London at a Mansion House dinner marking his first visit to the Square Mile in his coronation year, Charles III highlighted the shared values inherent in British society. His appeal for respect and understanding of others comes after an upsurge in antisemitism, rival protests on our streets over the Israel-Palestine conflict, and a warning from MI5 that war in the Jewish state and Gaza risks exporting violence to the UK. He and Queen Camilla arrived at Mansion House at around 8 p.m. tonight for the traditional reception and dinner to recognise the work of the City of London civic institutions and livery companies, the financial district's ancient and modern trade guilds. Shortly after his arrival, the King was presented with the Pearl Sword, thought to have been presented to the City of London by Queen Elizabeth I in 1571 in a ceremony dating back to William III in 1689. The sword represents the delegated authority of the Lord Mayor, Nicholas Lyons. He gave it to the King and then received it back to symbolise the Lord Mayor's authority in the Square Mile when the monarch is not present. The ceremony was performed by Queen Elizabeth II in 1953 and during her jubilees in 1977 and 2002. Inside, the King and Queen viewed the anointing screen, which was given by the City of London Corporation and city livery companies for the most sacred moment of the coronation. They met those involved in the screen's creation, including its designer Aidan Hart and members of the Royal School of Needlework and the Worshipful Company of Weavers. The King and Queen were also joined a reception to meet representatives of the City of London Corporation, the Common Council, the livery companies and the city's finance sector, before signing the visitor's book. Queen Camilla was wearing a black evening dress with silver embroidery by Bruce Oldfield. She was also wearing the late Queen's tiara, the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland diamond tiara. Her diamond necklace and earrings also belonged to the late Queen. In his welcome speech for the King and Queen before dinner began, the Lord Mayor said, "It is my great honour to welcome your Majesties to the City of London to Mansion House this evening to mark your coronation and to celebrate the historic friendship between the city and the Crown. Before we begin, I want to reflect briefly on the suffering of particularly all the innocent children in the horrific events we are seeing in the Middle East. My thoughts are with them." He added, "The relationship between city and crown is a long one, but to echo Her late Majesty, it's not the longevity that matters but rather it's the closeness, the strength and the impact." After this was delivered, the King began his speech, which ranged from celebrating the country's values to shedding light on a few of his passions, such as climate change and multi-faith integration. He received a loud laugh for a quip about his viral, frustrating, fountain pen debacle. The room, filled with guests dressed in white tie, toasted to their Majesties and the Lord Mayor and received the King's 14-minute speech with rapturous applause. They all had dinner in the Egyptian Hall of Mansion House, where they also listened to the traditional royal address, which was read by Zaphaneth Puplampu, the head boy of Christ's Hospital School. In his speech tonight, the monarch described the deep wells of the shared values in our society. "Since my accession last year, and in preparation for our coronation earlier this year, I have taken the opportunity to reflect on what it is that makes this nation of ours so special. For every generation lives with its own set of hopes and fears, as if caught in a perpetual tussle between optimism and pessimism, promise and peril," he said. "I have often described the United Kingdom as a community of communities, an island nation in which our shared values are the force which holds us together, reminding us that there is far, far more that unites us than divides us." But he warned that we are living in a watershed age, and asked if the coming of artificial intelligence would bring increased wealth and leisure or consume jobs and other opportunities before taking over our minds. He spoke about climate change, breaking with the caution of his first year as king and reverting to similar language to that which he used as Prince of Wales. After decades of debate, our television screens, or, increasingly, mobile phone screens, confront us each day with the stark realities of climate change. But are devastating scenes of communities scarred by fire and flood, not to mention the migration of people fleeing those terrifying phenomena, enough to persuade us to take the action that is needed, to make the sacrifices needed to secure our planet for generations yet unborn? He asked. Is our society, with its deep and ancient roots, nurtured and enriched by our welcome of new citizens from the four corners of the globe since the dawn of our history, up to the challenges and ready to meet them, head on? He told his audience of city business leaders, I believe so. Because at such a juncture in our national life, there are special strengths which we can summon to help us, deep wells on which we can draw, filled not just with our shared histories and experiences, but with literally countless individual stories too, a mix of memories past and ambitions future, to help give ourselves a sense of perspective. Among them were civility and tolerance, a respect for fairness and the rule of law. We know our rights, he said, but have we succeeded in equal measure in schooling ourselves, and our communities, in the importance of our responsibilities towards one another? Do we pause, instinctively and unerringly, before speaking or acting to ensure we are affording equal weight to both sides of the balance? Our society would be a kinder and gentler place for it. Quote.